Do you know what, chums? Interviewing celebrities, as I have for many years, the one thing that you're told not to do is surprise them. You know, the sort of thing I mean. You know, you normally get given, it's an interesting thing, this really, you know, you get a sort of bland sort of outline of, well, here's the album or here's the film, this is what you're going to talk about, don't deviate from that, and you'll get something. But you know, if you're doing a longer interview and they know that it's a longer interview, normally you can actually shell shock them into telling you something that they possibly didn't want to, you know, the sort of thing. Good interviewers, like say Johnny Carson or Michael Parkinson, they know exactly how to extract the moment, you know. Remember Meg Ryan, who basically was giving nothing on that interview, and then, you know, she said to Parkinson, well, I'd wrap it up. So he did, because clearly she was incredibly boring. And really that was the end of her career as a chat show guest, not his. You see how this works. A similar thing happened earlier this week on the daytime TV show with Drew Barrymore. Now, as I said over here, that particular show hasn't resonated with us. You know, we don't necessarily know it as such. It's not the thing that we're aware of. But of course, there's a lot of daytime TV shows. Many people enjoy them. Just depends on the guests. Do you agree? I just kind of think it depends on the topic and the guests. I used to like the older versions where, who remembers Mavis Nicholson? When I was at school, she used to have a show on, and she had some fascinating guests. And you kind of think, yes, you know, they were just simple conversations, not always flogging or pushing something. Do you know what I'm saying? But unlike this particular guest, Meghan Markle, well, literally, Drew Barrymore did something that utterly shocked Meghan, and it wasn't part of the agreement. As I say, you see, what normally happens is, it's all agreed in advance. You can ask this, we'll talk about your book or your cakes or your TV show, we'll have a bit of fun. So everything about the name, Meghan Sussex, everything like that, that was all agreed in advance. This bit wasn't. Let me explain. Hi, good to see you today, chums. Thank you so much. We're in the beautiful Hyde Park, as you can see, with a little bit of sunshine so far, so we can't knock it, can we? Absolutely. It's good to get out and about, isn't it? Even if for a brief moment, yes. Sure you'll agree. Now, some people might have thought the same thing with Meghan Markle. Finally, she got out and about, didn't want to do late night chat shows. Too risky, you see, wanted to ask too many questions. But Drew Barrymore, safe bet, same agency, and of course CBS, daytime, very safe and cosy. Also, Meghan thought. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because from an excellent source, basically Meghan was very aware that Drew would mention the fact that she'd met the late and beautiful Princess Diana. You know, and as she said herself, one of the highlights of her career and life. I'm sure it will be for many different people. You don't forget meeting somebody like that, do you? I'm sure it's the same meeting, I don't know, somebody like President JFK, you know? It's that moment where you think, wow, you know, this is the guy I've only seen on the telly. Now, what happened was, as you could see, that Meghan, you know, yeah, all right, then she produced the picture. Now, behind the scenes, this was not agreed. And as you can visibly see, Meghan virtually recoiled back, didn't, you know, sort of want to hold it or touch it. And then she said the strange thing. Well, you know, I'll let Harry know, or something like that. Oh, he'd be thrilled. Well, surely he'd be watching this if he was supporting you, the great devoted husband. And surely, you know, you could have said something like, what a terrific memory. It must have stayed with you. How wonderful to have met her. I've heard so much. Nothing. This was because, according to the source, Meghan didn't like the distraction away from herself, even though, yes, it was, of course, the mother of her husband, as ever we have to say, allegedly. But what a strange thing. And the reason why they didn't produce or let her know about the picture is they wanted to get this shock reaction. They thought they were going to get more. What they actually got was Meghan shutting down and virtually, yeah, lovely, back to me. And that's exactly what happened behind the scenes with Meghan, Diana and Drew. Strange set of events, don't you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.